All right, so here we go with a minute and 30 seconds to go before the start of our first semifinal matchup. It's Boston Red Legion, and they are taking on Tampa Bay Damage. And this is it. I'm up here with Chris Lasoya. And Chris Lasoya, baby,
how you doing?
Feel about this game coming up here?
You know, I've been watching these teams play all weekend. You know, we talked about it earlier when we first watched the Russians. You know how they're going to progress and get a little better towards the semifinals and finals and whatnot. You know, Tampa Bay is playing a really conservative, heavy gun, so the two teams on the break are going to be evenly matched up.
Yes.
I think it's going to come to those secondary moves that's going to win or lose this game for these guys.
I totally agree with you on that because, you know, Tampa Bay has played very methodical, very smart, and you look at the Russians, and the Russians have stumbled a little bit this event. They lost the first game to the Ironmen. They also played Chattanooga CEP this morning, and at one point we're down 3-1. And they played, you know, awesome after that, ended that game with a textbook time management point. So they're still the Russians of old, and the team is, you know, of course, incredibly stacked. But I'm really excited for this matchup, and I think it's going to be who can shoot more guys off the break, and who can. They're both playing kind of counterpunch paintball. So I'm looking to see if they can step their aggression up, make those big moves, like, you know, say Dynasty's been making, and then, you know, an Infamous started to do in their last game. So I think this is going to be a great game, and we got about 10 seconds to go for the start of this first point here. First semifinal matchup. On your screen right now, you're looking at Boston Red Legion. And that's Justin Rabikoff in the blue beanie. Let's see how far he breaks out here. Off the break, he goes to that little bunker. Now, we talked about this bunker. We've been watching these games so far. Oh, and look at this. Damage is losing players off the break. And also a player coming off the top side over there, Doritos. So Chris, a rough start for both teams here.
Absolutely, you know, and look for Justin to get into the snake quick as possible. You know, but with Tampa Bay Damage moving up the field, Tampa Bay down 2 players right now.
Yeah, and they got, it looks like Dan Holiday over there, and the referee's getting in on there. Oh, and look at this. Players are just dropping from both sides right now. Complete bloodbath off the break. 3 players alive for both teams now. And, you know, and it looks like better field position for Damage. They do have a slight advantage on that Dorito side, but nobody in the snake, though Justin Rabikoff's in a better position to attack. Yeah,
but as of right now, Justin, where the Tampa Bay Damage is in that Dorito side over there in that Aztec, you know, it's going to be really hard for him to move up the field. Justin has, you know, he can make the move, but it looks like Tampa Bay might be having gun problems.
Yeah, it looks like his gun is having some issues over there. Can't really tell. Oh, and they lose Dave Baines at his back corner, and very uncharacteristic for Dave Baines to die. Justin Rabikoff making a move after that. Right in there on your screen, you can see Justin Rabikoff as Mishka making moves. Very close right here. Tense battle on the Dorito side, and you see Justin Rabikoff. Oh, and awesome job by Mishka, able to take down Tampa Bay, and here comes the Russians. So great job by Mishka and Justin Rabikoff stepping up for the Russians.
Absolutely. You notice in this field, though, and the Russians know this, that if you lose a corner guy, they're going to fill it. You have to get those corners. Those corners are key for, you know, making the cross and keeping them from coming on the field. You know, it just seems the Russians just stay in their lanes when they get that corner shot. You know, they just go ahead and stay in their lanes and get the guy filling out.
Yeah, and that goes to their preparation. I think they've seen so many looks now, and they spent so much time kind of going over all of the different possible plays they could see in front of them. And because of that and their paintball IQ, they're able to make those clutch plays. And it was such a crazy kind of chaotic start to the game. You know, you had 2 players not coming off right away, but then the other players making moves, and this field it's kind of tough out there. I mean, you were playing it, you know, kind of break it down for me. You played this field a bunch.
Yeah, you know, the shots in the break, I mean, you know, almost every game you're gonna have 2 guys in the back center, because it's imperative that you shoot the corner guys or shoot out on the break, because if you just let them get out to the corners, they come out, they wrap, and then, you know, the quick filters real quick right after that, because if you don't, you know, you're going to get stuck in the back center, and 2 guys in that back center bunker just don't fit very well. So
yeah, but I'll tell you what, teams are all stacking up that back center because there are those good shots off the break, but then some teams get stuck back there, and also, you know, if you're keeping 2 guys back, they're rolling their guns for a long time, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, you're going to be able to get some you know, some pressing fire on the opposing players moving up the field, but it's going to keep a little bit away from your aggressive push. And also, that little A bunker that I've been calling the bunker of death, man, that bunker is just a rough spot to play out of.
Absolutely. It got me a couple times. You know, we had talked on one of the other games about muscle memory and stuff like that, and I'm sitting in my bunker, and I got clipped in the low the first time. I wanted to shoot a couple balls up here just to let you know that I hated you. But, you know, you're right. I mean, it's adapting to the field, you know, and Damage plays those bunkers really, really well.
They seem to be, and again, we're watching two very technical, methodical teams battling it out right now. Whereas the next game that we're going to watch, Infamous and Dynasty, the two aggressive warriors.
That's going to be a bloodbath. I'm looking forward to seeing that game.
All right, so let's check out the breakout here. You're looking at the Boston Red Legion on the top view coming out. Heavy guns streaking out to the Snake side. Gunning down the lane, and then Tampa Bay trying to fill out, and it looks like Timmy Probst trying to make it out there. And he got shot, got clipped, and also Boston Red Legion losing a player as well. So 4 Boston Red Legion and 4 Tampa Bay damaged players alive.
Yeah, look for them, the Russians, to get real quick into the Snake here. I don't think that it's an easy move, but this definitely the move they're going to make for this game, because I was sitting right now, they can't go down the Doritos very well.
Yeah, can't go down the Doritos, and there's no one on the there's both. Teams have the players on the Doritos side, but here Britnikoff making a move into Snake 2. And Britnikoff, actually, I think if I were to give some of the all-stars of this tournament so far playing the Snake, Britnikoff would be on that list.
Yeah, he's playing very, very well. You have to watch the cracks in that bunker from that back corner, though. They can slip it on your pack there. Gotta be real careful.
Ooh, and he's riding dirty over the top of that. Almost, it's tough though. You want to play aggressively. You got to be careful though. He does have a back player right behind him. Oh, and look at this, another player coming off. Timmy Probst dying out of that bunker of death, man. It's a tough spot to live in, especially as players are advancing down the field.
Yeah, look for the Russians to get up to the 50 degree here and try to cross up a little bit. It's a real easy move to get up to that 50 degree. Once you're up there, though, you kind of got to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot of teams have been able to make it in there. That's, I think, an easier spot to make than even some of the bunkers off the break.
Absolutely.
So Pantelev right behind Britnikoff. And Britnikoff, he's very methodical in there. And that's just, again, the Russians, they do their homework and they really know all these angles. So when they get in these spots, they know exactly where they need to shoot. They don't spend a lot of time deciding, okay, well, what lane am I going to shoot or who am I going to engage? They know based on what's in front of them where they're going to shoot.
Yep.
So 2-3 players, all from the center on over to the Dorito side, and as the Russians that's for Tampa Bay, the Russians making a move to that 50-yard line Dorito.
Like we talked about, now he's going to slow down a little bit. They're going to pinch out this back center guy. I mean, he only lifts so much from back there.
Yeah, so you're looking right here. That's Pantelev coming up to Britnikoff right now, and he stops at the 50-yard line, loads his gun, and immediately guns up on that back corner. So Pantelev in a gunfight with the back corner. Ooh, almost gets shot from the 30-yard line Dorito. This is gonna be a tough cross to break though, and I think that this is gonna be interesting. Both these teams, even when they're down bodies, are very good at crossing it up. So We're gonna see probably a lot of situations like this in this game. Ooh, nice job by Britnikoff. Wait, he got clipped.
Oh, but in the process, Tampa Bay damage, losing their back center player.
Yeah, Carthy getting shot out on the chaos from that move. And then Pantelev able to immediately seize the advantage coming down the Snake side. Oh, but they also lose Brittany in the center. So
2-on-2 here. I mean, we talked about this. Slow, methodical. Russians are definitely the Tampa Bay loses their back corner player. Now it's just 2-on-1.
It does not look good for the last Tampa Bay player here because he's really in a situation. I was going to say he's in a situation where he's almost got somebody on his back door. So here come the Russians scoring 2 off the start of this game.
That was a long point right there. We hadn't talked about this, how both teams are matched up evenly.
Yeah.
How they slow, they don't get crazy, they don't run down the field, like Infamous or Dynasty sometimes does.
Yeah, totally. And I'll tell you what, I think that really big point for Tampa Bay right now. They're going down 2-0, and I think that I would have loved to have kind of sit into the meetings of the Russians this weekend because, they lost that first game against the Ironmen, and they obliterated people on a level at the last World Cup that I really hadn't seen in years. And to come into 2011 and then their first game out, they lose to the Ironmen. Now, the Ironmen are obviously one of the best teams in the game. And they lost Oliver Lang in the offseason, but they still have a lot of young talent on the team. They got, a lot of great veterans on that team. So it's not like the Russians were playing a team of a lesser stature. But that being said, they look flat. They look flat as hell that game.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of been on this rocky road so far at this event. And whereas Damage has been really consistent. They lost the last game to Infamous. in Infamous, an awesome comeback victory, but that just had more to say, I think, more about the skills of John Richardson, Nicky Cuba, Zach Wake, and some of the other guys on that team that really had stepped up to take that game home for Infamous. So it wasn't that Damage played bad, though they did get a major penalty, which hurt them, and they don't normally get a lot of penalties.
No, not at all. They're very good about staying tight, getting checks. Whereas some people aren't. Infamous is one of those teams that, I'll check myself when I get there. And that's what I like about Tampa Bay. They're a pretty straight up team. They play really good paintball. But there's not a lot you can get away with these refs either, though.
No, that's true.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a harsh world out there.
Absolutely.
With the referees, but hey, man, that's the game's played at this level, and we got about 10 seconds to go to start the second point, and the referees need to stay on everyone because. You guys will get away with bloody murder.
Absolutely.
So let us.
I would.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So let's see it. Tampa Bay needing to dig deep here and pull out a point here to not go down 3-0 against the Russians and get eliminated from this tournament.
Oh, Tampa Bay losing out of that death bunker again.
Yeah, that's Ryan Smith. That's one of their best players getting shot out of there.
Justin Rabikoff out of the death bunker also.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
Hate that spot.
Yeah, spot is it's probably, I think, one of the toughest spots to play on this field. So 4 players left alive for both teams, and the advantage on field position definitely goes to Tampa Bay Damage right now. Although they do lose Holiday trying to come up on the Dorito side of the field.
And now Tampa Bay's in a little better spot right here as far as the snake goes. Look for him to slip into the snake here real quick. You got that big tower in the center there. He'll be the first one to go if he gets in that snake. Yeah,
Brown needs to make a move into the snake if he can. And right now he's posted up inside. Doesn't really look like he wants to make that move. And here comes Fedorov making a huge move all the way from the back corner into
nice
snake
move.
2 immediately posted up. And here comes Chad Bussiere coming down the Dorito side of the field. Awesome job by Chad. Gets a shot cross field. And it looks the referees are in there checking him out. I think he's still alive.
That was a great move. That was a great move.
Chad is so creative over there, very aggressive. He's the most aggressive player on that team, on Tampa Bay Damage. Right now you're looking at the snake battle going down. Brown finally getting into the snake for Damage, and he's posted up on Fedorov.
Also, Russians losing their corner player as well now. So it looks like 2 Russians. 2 on 2 is it, I think?
I think it's 2 on 3. If Chad is still alive over there. Can't tell if Chad Bussiere is still alive on the Dorito side for Damage.
I think they lost Chad, actually.
I think they did, yeah. I think I saw him in the pitch just walking in right now. So, they lose Mishka out of the back center. So, right now, I think it's just Fedorov.
Yeah, look for him to take the highway right here for sure. Fedorov.
Yeah, Brown should run the highway because Fedorov's posted down the lane. Yeah, and here comes Dave Baines starting to spread the field. Dave Baines playing very well for Tampa Bay Damage, though he did die earlier on so far in this game. But he's playing very well so far in this event. Fedorov getting shot out by Dave Baines. Nice job.
See, slow, methodical, controlled paintball, nothing crazy.
And it's interesting because you have Dave coming from the Russians last year. Now he moves over to Tampa Bay Damage this year, and I think it's a good move for him. But it's funny, we were sitting up here with Alex Frazee, and Dave had a good game, and he's like, "Yeah, that's why you pay Dave Baines."
Yeah. Yep, he's a great player.
Yeah, he's a great player, and so he's going from not a slow methodical team, but a very tenacious methodical technical team to another tenacious methodical technical team. So I think it's a good fit for him.
Well, I think him and Tyler Harmon both will bring a little bit, more, I guess, oomph to that team. Because they're a quiet team. You don't hear a lot from them. They have a great coach. Great program altogether. They're all great guys.
Yeah, I really like the Tampa Bay Damage guys.
I think they're all great. They're all great guys. There's really there's a lot of people out there that are actually really cool these days. There's when back in the day you always had the standard person you probably didn't care too much for.
Well, I think another thing is with knowledge comes understanding, and I think that a lot of back in the day, other than a few exceptions the Ironman Avalanche used to hang out, so we got to know each other, and though we battled on the field crazy for years and had insane matchups, just amazing games over a decade, but off the field we were always boys, whereas a lot of the other teams sometimes you really didn't get to know them as much, so you'd see them on the field and they'd be really harsh and hardcore, and then we'd be harsh and hardcore, and then just create that rivalry. But now, after all these years, a lot of these guys have been playing for so long, you get to know these guys, so off the field everyone's pretty cool, pretty chill with each other, respectful, generally speaking. Generally speaking. There's a few exceptions to that. But on the field, it's always an insane, very aggressive game.
Always. Yeah, like the game we had played against X Factor, and I went to the death bunker, and I got clipped in the loader by Ryan Cohen. Little crap I'm walking off the field. He gives me a little wave. But you know what? It was
You used to do that all the time.
I did.
You're
so
like, you stole my move, kid.
I smiled. You know, I love the kid. He's a great kid. You know,
Yeah, he's a great kid.
Me and Brett are boys. His brother. You know, he's played back with us in the day. 5 seconds to this next match here. Our next point. 2-1. Russians' favor right now.
All right, let's see on the breakout. You're looking at Tampa Bay Damage streaking out to the snake side of the field. Let's see if he makes it alive. And then big move by El Yusuf. Rumsey El Yusuf, but they lose Timmy Probst over there, and they also lose their Dorito corner trying to fill out.
Russians also losing one of their players out of the death bunker, so this whole side over here is open right now.
These teams are really starting to find those lanes off the break.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they lose another player coming off. It's Britnikoff getting shot out of the death bunker.
You know, definitely Tampa Bay Damage with the advantage right here.
Yeah, they gave good field position over here on the snake side. They got El Yusuf, who's played very well for them over on this side. You know, El Yusuf coming off of an injury from last season, so it's good to see him out there. We actually have a lot of players coming off injuries from last season. You see El Yusuf in there. Right now on your screen, you're seeing the Russians. That's the back center trying to get a shot on Rumsey, who's in the snake. And Rumsey all the way past the 50-yard line. He's going to try to get a shot cross field. Ooh, almost gets nicked himself. Oh, puts the back center in, and he doesn't really have any place to go from here because, but here off of that move, here comes Chad Boussier coming down the Dorito side of the field. You're looking at Rumsey right now into Snake 4. So Rumsey, he has some decent shots from here, but more importantly, he's really the thorn in the side. And with Rumsey here in Snake 4 and on the opposite side of the field, and you look how tight the Russians are having to play right now. That's the back center. I mean, you know, it's a bunker where normally you can just stand up and blaze from, but he's had to be on his knees, play very tight, because Rumsey has a really good shot on him.
Yep. You know, it's looking like they're having some technical problems, you know, on the field. You know, both teams seem to be having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and it looks like Chad Boussier gets shot out of his bunker on the Dorito side of the field. It's very uncharacteristic for him. Normally when he gets shot, it's either making a move or running somebody down. Oh, and look at that. El Yusuf finally snaps out the back player for the Russians in the back center. So totally running this side is Rumsey, who's been playing very well for Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay trying to put another point on the board here. And this is what I kind of figured we'd see. We'd see that seesaw battle back and forth.
Right. You know, Carthy is one of the best closers in the game.
Yeah, so it looks like a 2-on-1 battle right now. And Rumsey, if it's a 2-on-1, I mean, he really can kind of get free and get a little crazy over here on the side and start making some moves, maybe close the gap here. Carthy also might want to think about spreading the field too. Yeah, here he goes. Now he's going to jump over that bunker and make his way to the stand-up temple.
He'll definitely come out. He'll probably move out a little more and get it real close, using the pin to block him out.
Yeah,
all he has to do is step out just a little bit.
Yeah, he also could cut to the center too, and use those pins to block him out and just run him down. I think he might be having some issues with his equipment, or yeah.
You know, see, he dropped his loader. If he leaves his loader there, they will call him out.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna have to tell him to pick that loader up. Okay, yeah, smartly he picks it up and puts it. I think he's trying to put it back on. Okay, so he seems to be doing major surgery.
Yeah, that's the worst too.
I hate when that happens, especially when you're in a really good spot. You know, you can just run the guy down. And there he goes. He's using the pin to block him out. Aggressive, awesome move by Rumsey. He's able to take him out to tie it up. So here comes Tampa Bay Damage. Great dude. Rumsey is playing awesome for them on the snake side of the field, coming off that injury.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you know, he takes the best of a bad situation and, you know, made it work to his advantage. You know, I mean, you got to do what you got to do when you're out there.
Yeah,
especially if you're doing major surgery on your equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you know who continues to just play incredibly solid for Tampa Bay is Mike Carthy.
Mike Carthy he's always been like that strange. You know, he was always a solid. He's
been solid for like 12 years now, man.
I hated playing him when
I hated gunfighting him. I didn't want to run somewhere off the break against his lane.
Yep, I agree.
I definitely hated pushing in when he was one of the last guys left alive.
You know, because he's like 6 feet tall and he gets so small. He pretty much crawls inside the bunker and you can't even see him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's phenomenal closer. Phenomenal person. He's a Mike Paxton kind of person.
He is.
You know?
He's like a skinnier Asian version of Mike Paxton.
Exactly. Remember, you know,
who has an Irish name.
Yes. And Todd Adamson too, back in the day.
Yeah.
He would pull some stuff off.
All right, so the score is now all tied up at 2 apiece. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Chris Lasoya from Chicago Aftershock. Paintball legend Chris Lasoya. How does it feel to play with Shock now?
You know, I had played for Shock a little while back.
Yeah.
You know, and then these days, you know, you got to, adjust to the sponsorship things. You know, like I work with the companies like GI, and you know, so I got to play with the GI team, so on and so forth. So it kind of limits where I'm playing. But the Shock guys, I coached them all last year. They're great guys. All the kids are super cool. They have a lot of potential. You know, so I mean, I'm definitely going to put the time and effort into helping them out if I can. And you know, hopefully, you know, move these kids along, like Zach Patient, great kid. You know, he's going to be a great paintball player.
Well, it's good to see you out there, man. You know,
yeah, thanks,
definitely.
Matt.
And I know you just had that knee surgery, but you looked pretty mobile.
Yeah, you know,
saw you diving into the 50 Dorito.
Yeah, dip diving and dodging.
Yeah.
I think it's more fear. I don't, you know, and when the game's over, it definitely, I guess I'll still have a pimp limp. But during the game, I don't feel any pain at all. It's kind of nice.
All right, so here we go, all tied up, and just about 5 seconds to go for the start of this next point. Let's see who's going to grasp that control. You're looking at the Russians on your screen right now on the breakout. A lot of guns up, 3 in the back, and then immediately, and all the way to the snake is Brown, who's been getting a lot of reps.
That's
Tampa
great.
Bay,
Oh, look for a penalty come. If Justin Rabikoff is hit, it's a possibility they might throw a flag here.
And he's clean.
No,
so
good.
Oh, and they lose Brown.
Oh.
Tampa Bay losing Brown. So players that continue off the break. Lots of players falling off the break for these teams. Both teams have not been able to keep 5 alive off the break.
Yeah, both teams lose. I mean, it's now that you're getting down to the wire. You know, you're starting to learn the lanes, and you know it's not the lanes are there on the break for sure.
Yeah, big move
Tyler
on the
Harmon.
Dorito side. Tyler Harmon getting out there, and I think that's a really good pickup for Tampa Bay.
You know, but like we talked about, that's a great spot and all, but you can't really do much after that. You kind of got to chill and, you know, pick your shots wisely.
Yeah, it's one of those thorn in your side spots. You know, because when you have somebody that's in the 50 Dorito, he may not be doing a ton of damage from there, but you always have to worry about him as you move up the field.
Absolutely.
So it really hinders your aggressive movement. And now that the Russians have 4 players in the back bunkers with really good field position right now for Tampa Bay, as Brian Smith is able to get into the snake. Brian Smith played an epic 9.5 minute long one-on-one battle.
Oh, Zach Patient. Him and Zach Patient went one-on-one for a while. That was a long drawn-out point. That's one of the biggest points in history.
Yeah,
I mean,
Zach did have to be very patient in that particular game.
I think the longest still has to go to John and Alex. John Richardson and
Yes,
and Alex
I remember
Lundquist.
that. That was like a
11 minute
one-on-one. That was probably 2005.
That was crazy.
It was insane.
You know, I'm look for Dave Baines to kind of come up the field a little bit here. He'll definitely come up, you know, try to get a little better angle on some of these guys.
Yeah, he definitely has the ball, because right now with the Russians kind of stuck in these back bunkers with this really good field position that Tampa Bay has, it's all tied up 2 apiece, and this is also when it kind of sets in. You got only 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. We're going to see a low-scoring match, and we kind of expected that with these 2 methodical teams. So I think that as the time is going to start to click by, these guys are going to get more conservative in their moves, especially with it tied up.
Absolutely. You know, and I think it's a attrition battle right now. You know, I think whoever's the next body to drop is probably going to lose the game.
Yeah, and just like you were saying, Dave was going to get mobile. He ended up coming out behind Brian Smith here. He's in that back corner bunker on the snake side of the field. So right now you're looking at that overhead view of the snake, and you see Brian Smith. He's in there at snake 2 for Tampa Bay, and the Russians are all stuck in that back line. They have to play in the back corner on the Dorito side and on the snake side, and then they have Justin Rabikoff, who's stuck in that bunker of death, and he's definitely not, he just
got clipped in the goggles. That's the shot we were talking about.
Who got a shot on him?
I think the shot came from the back corner. You know, we talked about the cracks.
Yeah, we did.
You know, it's false sense of security there. I think I actually shot a guy from the Dorito earlier like that.
And here comes a dipping and diving move, and able to get into the 50-yard line snake as Holiday looks like he comes off for.
You know, the Tyler Harmon over there got clipped out on that 50 Dorito. You know, I'm not sure if Dave Baines know they made that 50 Dorito over there or not.
So yeah, the 50 Dorito is hot for the Russians, and here comes Justin Rabikoff now, pressing his downfield, aggressive moves. Ooh, almost got clipped. The Russians trying to break this tie right now. And Dave Baines ends up getting clipped out by his former teammate, Justin Rabikoff, and it's just one Tampa Bay player left alive. and he is going to get shot out. So nice job by the Russians. They had the whole back line, and they just ate Tampa Bay up. And I think, like you said, and you called it, is that the first player that drops is going to be the key kill. And sure enough, Brian Smith gets shot in his bunker out of that snake, just getting a lob shot in from the corner.
That was unbelievable. It barely clipped his goggles, too. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any closer.
Yeah, I mean, he was tight in there.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't like he was playing sloppy in that bunker.
Yep, those cracks.
Those cracks are tough, and I'll tell you what, but again, that speaks to the preparations of the Russians. They know those shots.
Absolutely.
They know all those cracks that they need to shoot through.
I'm not sure if it actually came from the Dorito or from the corner.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell, and I'll tell you what, I don't think anyone knows who shot him. I don't even think the guy who shot him necessarily knows who shot him.
Exactly. Yep.
It's one of those kills.
Unbelievable. And unfortunately, right after that, Tyler Harmon, making a departure real quick after that.
Yeah.
And after that, it's kind of just end of the game.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite tell from here who shot Tyler, because I thought the Russian player was going to go try to bunker him out, but I think he must have snapshot him out because he saw that he was already dead, and he just made that move to fill that spot. So our score is now 3-2, Boston Red Legion on top with 4:44 left to play in the match. Amanda Marshall got Chris Lasoy up here. It's the first game of the semifinals. We're in Galveston, Texas for the first event of the paintball sports promotion season. And we have seen some awesome games so far with, there's some changes in the league. You're no longer allowed to coach from the pit side. Everyone unanimously agrees. I think that's a great addition to the sport. The field is now 20 feet longer. And I was talking to Justin Rabakoff. He was up here doing some commentary, and you could definitely, I think, attest to this too, because you're another one of those players that dodges streams of paintballs. That off the break, it enables the really creative and trained paintball players to be able to dodge those streams coming in on them.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, and it makes a huge difference on the angle you're shooting at. You're not used to shooting those long, that 20 feet makes a big difference. Like you said, muscle memory. You're used to shooting a certain distance, and now you got to kind of elevate it and kind of retrain yourself again.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Seconds left before the start of this next point. Let's see if Tampa Bay can answer Boston Red Legion. So on the breakout, you're looking at Tampa Bay breakout right now. There's the wide shot of them, and they starting to lose. They lose two players, both off the Dorito side, and here comes the Russians getting up down that side and down the snake side. Movement on all fronts for the Russian Legion.
Yeah, and I mean, the Russians are going to bring it hard now. Tampa Bay's down two players right now. They're on all the back spots. The Russians are just going to slow it up a little bit. They might go up to the A and cut that side of the field off since there's nobody out there.
So that's Britnikoff in the snake. He's made that move up to the snake 50, and now you're looking at Tampa Bay stuck in those back bunkers, and they're only on the snake side of the field. So the Russians able to get up to that center A. You can see in the top left-hand portion of your screen that big center A bunker has a Russian player at it, and he's going to try to wrap around. Now, he doesn't have to worry about the Dorito side of the field. That's why he's able to make that move. All he has to really worry about is the gap on the bottom, but there's really no damaged player that's able to shoot that gap right now. So,
well, the first person to go out of the Tampa Bay is going to be the guy at the death bunker. He has a good shot on the A. Those two will battle out because Carthy's never going to look over here. Oh, Russian Legion losing their snake player. Little clip of the foot from the corner guy.
Wow, so Britnikoff ends up getting shot, got clipped a little sloppy in there, and now Pantelev's right behind him. And now, really good field position all the way across the field. They don't have the 50 snake anymore. They do have the snake, but they have the 50A and the 50 Dorito. So really good field position. They're going to try to squeeze out. Here it comes, move from the center. Big move from the Russians coming up through the center, right in the dead center of your screen right now. Look for him to try to post up, maybe run through. He's going to try to clip a hopper, clip a goggle here before he makes the run through. Yeah, there it goes, just like you said, Chris. Timmy Prumps dies out of that death bunker. Oh, but then a trade out. Or I'm sorry, then the Russian player, he gets shot out of that center. So we're looking at a 3-on-2 right now.
You really got to slow it down. This field, like we talked about, there's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of big gaps. You got to work as a team. I think the Russians kind of went out on their own on a limb there. I think he could use a little more support, and might have helped him out a little bit.
Yeah, and here we go now. Pentelev making his move up to the 50, just about to the 50-yard line, trying to just get a decent shot on that back center who's just hugging the bunker right now.
Tampa Bay losing their corner guy now.
And that's going to do it here. Yep. Just a matter of time. And smartly, they blow the clock because they blow the horn, preserving the clock. Only 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to play here in our first semifinal matchup. And the Russians with, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a commanding lead, but it pretty much is with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Absolutely. I mean,
especially the long points we've been having.
Especially when the Russians are out there. I mean, if they want to draw a game out for 2 minutes, they're going to draw a game out for 2 minutes, and that's just the way it is. I expect them to come out, go to their spots, shoot their lanes, and never, ever come off their lanes.
If we don't see some Russian players get shot off the break, if Tampa Bay is not able to get some kills right off the get, then I'll tell you what, we're probably going to watch 2 minutes and 10 seconds tick off the clock.
Absolutely.
With some sort of aggressive push as the time runs out from Tampa Bay.
You know, I look for Tampa Bay to possibly go up to the A in the break. That's all they can really do, because I mean, there's nothing else they can really get away with besides going to the Dorito. Maybe snaking the break, it's possible, but they got to do something. They're going to do something here. I mean, they're not just not going to sit back and try and shoot somebody. They definitely have to make some moves right here. This is a crucial point. If they come 3-4.
If it could go 3-4, I mean, it's just there's just not a lot of time left. I mean, you know, we've seen so far in this event that there really hasn't been a lot of 1 minute points. So let's just say they do have a quick point. They are able to get a point within a minute. Let's say they get like two Gs off the break, 2 kills off the break, and they're in a position to make some aggressive moves. We're probably looking at maybe around a minute left for them to score another point. So not impossible, though improbable.
No, absolutely. You know, and you look at the line that the Russians have out there. It's pretty much, you know, Justin and all their shooters.
Yeah.
Tallest guys on the planet.
Yeah. So I think that, we'll see. We got just about 10 seconds to go here. Tampa Bay is going to have to dig deep. I'm interested to see if they can pull off some sort of aggressive. They got Tyler Harmon out there, and we saw Tyler Harmon try to go to the A off the break earlier on in the game. He did get shot, and he's posted up like he's going to go far. All right, let's see. Running to the insert bunker right behind the A, and no G's off the break for Tampa. Does not bode well for their chances here.
Oh, Fedorov getting clipped, going to the corner.
So Fedorov got clipped, but the rest of the Russians are just all gunned up. 4 guns rolling right now. They're just trying to shoot as much paint as they possibly can at Tampa, and Tampa's going to have to try to make something happen. And got a minute and 45 seconds left, and they lose their back corner player Brown. And they lose another player, so it's going to be tough right now for Tampa.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm gonna definitely if Justin Rabikov dies, you know, the best thing for them to do is come out to the snake side.
And Chad Boucher gets destroyed trying to make it up to the 50-yard line. Dorito, and these Russians are just literally zoning these lanes and not letting up. As we got a minute and 15 seconds left, and Tyler Harmon trying to do whatever he can over there on the Dorito side of the field. There goes Dave Bain swinging behind him. You're looking right now, that's the center of the field, Brian Smith. Brian Smith cuts to the snake with a minute left. 3 Russians players left as Harmon makes his move to the 50-yard line Dorito, which is going to make it really hard for the Russian player to live in that center stand-up temple.
You know, with Tyler up there in the 50, you know, like we talked about,
there's no time left.
No, there's no time to be sitting down and playing.
This game is going to go to the Russians. There's just 37 seconds left, and even should Tampa win this point, they're not going to have the time left to score another one.
Yeah, no, the Russians, like we talked about, drawing the point out, you know, by letting Justin Rabikov make the point.
And also,
over
you know, look at this. There's 21 seconds left, and we see Tampa Bay's player. He's just on his face, on his stomach right now in the snake. You know, they're going to lose this game and go home. You know, at least if you're gonna die going forward. Does get a good shot in on that stand-up temple, which would have been fine if there was more than 6 seconds left to play.
Yeah, and you know, I think they kind of just gave up at this point. It's unfortunate that.
So that is going to do it. Nice job, and we just saw a pretty classic battle of 2 smart, methodical, technical teams throwing down right here in the first game of the semifinals. But unfortunately for Tampa Bay Damage, Boston Red Legion just has a little bit too much for them, and they edge them out in a very low-scoring match, 4-2.
Yep, you know, and like I'm not sure if you spoke about this before, but I don't think they play for 3rd and 4th any longer.
I don't think they do either.
So I think that's going to do it for Tampa Bay. Next up, we have Infamous and Dynasty.
Yeah,
that's going to be a bloodbath.
That is going to be a very aggressive pit bull fight. And so yeah, we got that game coming at you next. So I'm Matty Marshall. I got Chris Asoy up here for the semifinals and the finals. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Galveston event, the inaugural 2011 PSP season. Stick around.